Hello and welcome to the Alexandra Wenman Show. My guest today is the lovely Lynn Morris. She is a soul purpose mentor and the founder of She is Powerful Bootcamp. So welcome, Lynn. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Oh, it's wonderful being here. It's great.
It's really exciting because we've known each other for a long time. Well, we met many, many moons ago. I can't even remember what year it was. It was something like 2011 or something, I think.
Probably, yes, probably.
A long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And since then, because I think at that time we were both doing a lot of kind of galactic and angel work and things like that. Since then, you've created this incredible boot camp for women all around the divine feminine. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about what that is and how that came to be?
Yeah, sure. So She's Powerful Bootcamp is an online 6-week course or program that I designed, which really is birthed from my experience working with women now solely or singularly for the last 3 years. So before that, I was a spiritual teacher working with the angels and Archangel Metatron in particularly. And then I sort of got a good grounding with teaching healing and other aspects, and then realised that my work was being steered towards women only. And that was something I hadn't anticipated. It just it just developed over time. And then actually what happened was that I started personally mentoring women and really was attracting a lot of women that were really struggling with the divine feminine wounds and past life sort of memories and trauma of being either what they were, a herbalist or a healer or an oracle or a seer or a witch or a wizard, a sorceress, whatever it was. And I just built up the experience over time of mentoring these women and realizing, my God, I need to put something together which is like a formula for breaking them free and also helping them lift out the invisible blocks that sit there, to you actually feeling like you can actually go and do your light work without feeling like you're in terror or that you are going to get, I don't know, arrested and, burned to the stake or drowned or whatever. So boot camp sort of developed over a couple of years, really. And now it combines divine feminine healing and empowerment techniques and also soul purpose alignment. So we do a lot of work in there on the inner child and your soul purpose blueprint and seeing the bigger picture and vision for your mission and purpose, and trying to give you also confidence and increase your self-esteem so that you can go out and be who you really are. So there you go. I'm just running one right now, actually. I just launched it last week.
How many people do you usually get on the course?
Well, because it's fairly new, I've got about 10 people on it this time, but I've a vision to grow that. So like anything, you have to keep running it, and eventually you will get more people on it, won't you? As word of mouth and people have gone through it and experienced it. I'm lucky because that's not my only facet of work. So I still do my private mentoring programs with women as well. But She's Powerful Bootcamp is very, very close to my heart and is just the first, I would say, phase of the She's Powerful movement, really, for me.
Oh, I love the word movement. I feel like it will be a global movement. It feels like it is laying foundations for something much bigger, and
absolutely,
I think it's really important in from my perspective as well. And the women that I meet, there are a lot of us that are sort of birthing. We're almost birthing a new civilization and a new paradigm, and we're birthing that through our soul purpose. So a lot of us are doing things or bringing through concepts. Men as well, but I find that women really are at the forefront of this, where we're bringing through these new concepts or healing modalities or whatever it is. It's like this unique thing that is coming through that's never been done before. And it's like, well, how do you how do you birth something like that when you've got no reference points, nothing to compare it to? It takes a lot of courage and a lot of bravery, because we're busting through this this old box, right? So I want to ask you, in terms of the boot camp aspect, I'm imagining that you've gone through your own sort of personal boot camp to bring this through, right?
You can say that, yes. I have to live it first, and then I can provide the solution for others. That's how I feel that my life has gone. Ever since I woke up, really, in 2009. So it's been 10 years, and it's been a deep immersion and initiation after initiation, I feel, really, to really sort of get me to this point, which we're always a work in progress, so it'll just carry on, won't it? But it's sort of, you're always also learning what you teach, aren't you?
Absolutely. Or you learn it, you learn it before you teach it, or even while you're in it teaching.
Absolutely, you do. You do. And then you apply what you've learned to assist others. Absolutely. So, I've had my really deep down and dark times, looking at my shadow self, looking at the wounds that I didn't want to look at, that were hidden, the subconscious stuff that we've got. And I'm a great believer as well in mindset. So it's not all about energetic healing, and it's got to be mindset with the energetic healing together that actually will make the difference, because then you're healing on many different vibrational layers at once, because the mental and the emotional bodies are things we're trying to master, and they need as much healing as everything else. So I think that's one thing that gets neglected somewhat in the energy healing world, is us making sure that we get our mindset on board with our mission and purpose, because if we don't, then we have that terrible inner battle, don't we, going on, that battlefield, which I've been through as well.
Yeah,
you're
trying to articulate what is going on.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, obviously, and when you're very psychic, and I mean, we're all awakening to these
yeah.
When you're very psychic, and when you can see what's really going on, and you're having these, I would call, I guess, profound, amazing, but very unusual experiences. These are sort of becoming the norm for a lot of people. Yeah. But there's still so much in this 3D world that so many people, I guess, and so many structures and like groups, businesses, foundation paradigms that aren't quite ready for the language that we use. Have you had a challenge trying to articulate sort of what's happening into sort of layman's terms?
Yeah, I'm a great believer in simple language. I'm a great believer in keeping it simple. Spirituality should be, as simple as you can make it, so that you're not alienating. I can't say it. I'll put my teeth in. Yes, you're not sort of turning away people that would sort of, if they understood better, would get what you're trying to teach or show them. So yeah, I'm a great believer in keeping it simple, and that's the way I operate anyway. So there you go. I try and translate things into easy language, so people get maybe things that, if they're explained in a more complicated fashion, just go over their head. But when you explain it with a more detail in a simple form and an analogy or whatever, they get it, and suddenly, I know what you're trying to say now. So I'm a great believer in that, and I think that will be the future as well. It doesn't have to be complicated, and that's another thing I teach. It doesn't have to. We make it too complicated. Yeah.
So how did all this start for you? When did you first go through your, I guess, awakening, and what happened?
I was 44 when I woke up, which is a symbolic master number anyway, isn't it? 44, angelics. I always knew I was psychic from a young age, and even as a child, I shut down because I was just too sensitive. And I couldn't cope with that. I was an Indigo Child. So I shut down and sort of almost forgot those origins. But as I went on in life in my 20s and 30s, I started to, I always believed the soul was eternal. That wasn't anything that was non-negotiable with me. I always knew that, but I wasn't sort of doing anything about finding out more about that, put it that way. And then in my 20s and 30s, I started to develop a little bit of an interest in spirituality, but not much. I'd dip in and dip out because I was busy as a young mom with 2 boys. I was working in the corporate world for a long time. And then I trained as a nurse when I was 18 and quit because I didn't have enough confidence. And it was about 8 months off qualifying to be a nurse, which was a regret of mine that I carried really in life. And then it got to, I'm married in 2000, my husband now, and that changed the energy. And interestingly, I went back to nursing and did a good 10 years, and I loved it. And then it was interesting, evidently that was sort of like a turn back to where I should be on the healing side. Yeah. And I was in the cardiac unit, so I worked on people's hearts.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was working physically on people's hearts for about 10 years. And then I got more and more sensitive during 2009. I couldn't control my intuitive abilities. So they just opened up fully. Well, they were starting to open up more and more. And I was getting more sensitive. I was seeing more things. I was feeling spirit. I was, all sorts of things. They used to call me, sort of, there was a name for me at the hospital. Because
were you telling people what you were seeing when you were?
Well, no, I wasn't. It was more about I could tell if someone was going to be really ill, or I could tell if someone was going to pass over or not. And I could know when someone was going to take a downturn. So I would always sort of have that funny feeling that would come through my body when I looked at them, and I'd think they're gonna get really ill really soon. So what I'd do is I'd end up either hovering around their bed, or I would tell all the other girls on the ward, like, watch her, something's going to happen, and it's going to be soon. And then they started calling me a witch because I was
compliment.
Yeah. But they like that. They because I actually, I used to sort of put them on guard, and they would then be ready. Almost ready for them to do that. So I got a good reputation really for that, Yeah. And then during the summer of 2009, it just totally was uncontrollable. And I was also having a hard time at work. I'd asked for a pay increase and a banding because I was doing a higher bandings work. I was in the NHS. They refused it. I was very cross. They tried to, I had my bosses actually trying to get the pay banding for me. Still didn't work. And I decided to leave because I just could feel there was something waiting for me. I'm not supposed to be here anymore. I just could feel that. And I quit my job with no other job to go to. I just quit my job and decided that I was going to learn to meditate because I had to try and learn to control this energy that kept coming towards me. I'd pick up like ghosts in hotels and things, and it was frightening me. I didn't know how to control it. So my pure reason for meditating was to let's get to learn to control it. How do I learn to control and get them to step away from me? I can't cope with it, and the rest really is just like it. Just as soon as I started meditating, I sort of really started to energetically awaken, and then I think I did a Reiki course. I'd always wanted to do Reiki, so I did a Reiki 1 just to sort of see how that felt. I always believe Reiki or any type of healing modality will just dial you to the right frequency, your healing frequency. So I opened my channels up then for healing, and I was away then really, and I just had sort of a very weird and intense experience in Glastonbury after that, which I then realised was my soul home. So the Glastonbury land is very linked to my soul lineage and sort of my soul group really. and what we've done in past lifetimes down there, and the heart chakra. So I just had a sort of series of things happen. They're in a book actually called Learning to Dance with the Angels that I wrote in 2013. But all of my quirky things that happened, amazing things, are in the book. Really, I could just go on and talk hours about that. But
oh, no, I love it. I love the stories. It's one of the reasons why I set up this show, actually, because I love hearing other people's amazing, weird, incredible, out there stories of this awakening. And like, it's happening to so many people on a daily basis now. Like, you think you're just a normal human being. You might, I guess like many people and most of our viewers watching probably, you feel like you're just an awkward person, right? Or you feel a little insecure, or you think you're the problem. And then actually you realize, oh, I'm not meant to be fitting into this. I'm something different, and I'm meant to be following my heart and thank God you did, because look at you now. You're out there inspiring people. You're mentoring people, and I need to tell our viewers, Lynn was really pivotal in a very big period for me. I was like you, I guess, working with the angels, and then I think I was still working at the magazine, and I came to see you for a session. I'll never forget it because it made sense of stuff that was going on with me. I was just at the start of channeling precious wisdom.
Yeah.
And I was having all these really incredible galactic kind of visitations and experiences. And it was your healing that kind of opened the lid on what that was all about. It was like I remembered a lifetime I'd had on another planet.
Yeah.
And it came through really, really clearly in your healing. And then I remember I saw your guides that day really clear, and I hadn't really kind of seen beings as such up to that point. So yeah, it was amazing. And after that sort of opened the gate for me to kind of go off into my journey. So thank you, honey.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. I just love that. I mean, I'm in my element when I'm sort of doing that sort of work with women. Yeah, I've worked with men as well for a long time, but it evidently my higher self and source wants me to work with women. So, and that's wonderful. That's great. But I loved doing those sessions, and I learned a lot during those sessions too. I was learning my craft. I was learning how to integrate the many different facets of my gifts and abilities into a more shape and form as such. And it's evolved from there. So the hands-on healing and whatever else that I used to do there is now combined into my mentoring and my She's Powerful Bootcamp. So it's the same thing. It's just delivered in a different way. Isn't that fascinating? That's like the evolution of a healer. Yeah.
And I think sort of we all do these sort of big full circles before we settle really into who we are and what we're meant to be doing. But can you tell us a little bit about if people work with you, because you do one-on-one mentoring sessions.
I do.
If someone was to work with you, what could they expect from a one-on-one session?
Right. Well, I normally I don't do single sessions, so I just do a whole package, because I find that I really need more than one to get some really deep transformation occur. So I do normally 8 sessions. It's an 8-week program. And in that, what we do is we look at you as a spiritual being, and we look at your soul gifts and abilities. We look at your karmic history of what's gone on in other lifetimes. If it's to be shared, then it will be shown to me and yourself. And we work through the blocks to you feeling sort of comfortable with moving into this work, and also being comfortable just in life. If you've got issues running that are affecting your personal life and the way that you live due to a past life occurrence or something that has deeply impacted you, and you just need that help and assistance to shift it and lift it out of you. So we work on many different levels. So I work on the mindset as well, and the emotional blocks. We work on your energetic healing on a soul level. So we look at, as I say, your soul blueprint, and we look at what you're good at and what you should be doing, sort of, in a you know, because there's many different ways to deliver your purpose. And then it's almost like I piece everything together for you. So if everything's scattered and you can't make sense of anything that's going on, then in my mentoring program, we bring it together so you're able to see the bigger picture, and you're able to lift out what needs to be lifted out there and then, because we hold very powerful space. And also I give you techniques and strategies to navigate and carry on from there, so that you can remain grounded and centered in your mission and purpose and your life, and how to cope with getting your mind on board to deliver your purpose. So we do a heart mind synchronization as well. Okay, so we do all of that, and I'm working with Source. I am working with Source and the Divine Mother, and my light guides are actually in fact, who I used to work with are not my light guides now, actually, because they were my trainee light guides. So it was sort of like, it was a training ground, yeah. And then I actually, my soul group is the infinite, yeah. So I'm part of the infinite. So my higher self, you know, as we go on, our channeling actually diminishes. I don't know if you found that. As your higher self,
yeah, it doesn't. I mean, what I found with channeling anyway is I see it all as very multi-dimensional anyway, and an interconnectedness of everything. But what I've seen through a lot of the beings that do come through are actually ourselves in other dimensions.
Absolutely.
Or our friends or our soul group, our family, right, in other dimensions, just coming through to help. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that, I mean, I still channel as and when it's needed, but a lot of the stuff that's coming through feels like it's not coming from, well, it's coming from
you. Yeah, absolutely. So that's higher self-embodiment. So as the higher self embodies more, then of course it's you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So of course, all you need, and this is what I teach in my mentoring, is to get clear on that you're a pure channel for Source. Source for me is God, is the Divine Mother and Divine Father together, in perfect union, and is the highest energies we can work with. So I just make sure that I'm always aligning my work and my practice and with Source, and asking Source.
I think that's the first one to do. Absolutely. Even when I teach channeling and things like that, it's always your higher self first.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you don't know what you're opening yourself up to.
Absolutely. That's another thing I teach. That's part of boot camp, is being a clear channel for Source, and aligning with your higher self and clearing your, I sort of do that because I see it like that you're clearing all of the channels of consciousness that you've got and making sure you're aligning them with your Source. And lots of light workers don't do that, and then you've got this, they think they're channeling pure 100%, and they're not. And then you get a little bit of you'll find your work is a little bit out of alignment, and also you might be going around in circles because you're not quite getting the real true Source.
I've definitely, in terms of that kind of work, I've got put through my paces quite a lot with that. I mean, because channeling is a big part of my work. I mean, I love to do it because it's like it's fun, and it is like, you know, it's beautiful to be with those beings and to feel that sense of rejuvenation. It's gorgeous. But yeah, definitely, it's not something to play with. You do need proper training, and you do need to understand how it all works. I definitely got put through my paces with
I have,
and the dark side of all of it.
Too. It's a rite of passage.
Totally.
It's a rite of passage. It's got to be, hasn't it? You've got to learn, and sometimes you learn, unfortunately, by maybe channeling something that isn't 100% pure light, but you work it out. You work it out, and then you do align. You do work it out how to do it.
You know the feeling. The stronger that you get in your inner knowing and in that alignment, you just know if something's not quite right. I always say if there's any question mark over it at all, just close down and say no. Has
Absolutely.
to feel 100%. It's our feeling awareness really that is it's that, it's about discernment. I think in the spiritual world, especially in the spiritual world, but in everyday life, discernment is one of the biggest lessons we're all here to learn, right?
Absolutely.
What is for me, might not be for somebody else, and it doesn't mean it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's all in our perception. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's so interesting. I want to talk to you though about because it's just exciting. Like on this planet, there are so many women working with the Mary Magdalene, the Isis, the goddess energies.
Yeah.
And how did you first come to work with those energies, with the goddess kind of?
Well, the goddess energy was always in the background. So even when I woke up, I remember, I've got my old channeling books and meditation books. I kept seeing goddesses walking in my meditation. I kept getting the goddess symbol all the time. So I knew there was a goddess sort of energy to me, or I'm linked to the goddess energy. I knew that, but it didn't. It wasn't a very apparent at the beginning. It was an undercurrent. But as I went on, I realized that I was bringing the goddess energy or divine feminine energy into my teaching work without realizing it. So my angelic Reiki workshops from years and years and years ago, I remember putting in some goddess stuff in it and thinking, I just loved the energy so much and wanted to put it in. And then it just got, I don't know, let me think. I was working 2014. It's around the 2014, 2015 that I started really to tap more into the divine feminine and know that it was calling to me. So it sort of, I had a transition year of 2015, which was awful. We call it an initiation. Lost a lot of my confidence during that time because everything seemed to go wrong at once. Everything was stripped away from me, materially as well. And it was a big lesson really about the fact that you don't need anything external to be who you are, and that was the learning for me. It was about, you are the teacher, you are the academy, you are everything that you want to birth is you. And it was sort of like a lesson for me in the fact that I went from a big office with where I could channel and write and do my clients to working on my kitchen table. But actually I produced my best work on this kitchen
with nothing else. I
produced my best work because it just taught me so much about the fact there's nothing external that will make it better. Actually, it's got to be you feeling like you can birth it wherever you are. You are the oracle. And that was a big lesson. And then as 2016 began, that's when I got this really incredible, I did a recalibration reset, you do. It's like a bit of a rebirth, isn't it?
Yeah.
I started 2016 with a much more powerful sort of sense to me, and suddenly I just knew I had to mentor. I just knew I need to mentor. And as I started mentoring, I was just attracting woman after woman after woman. I think I had two men, and both times it didn't go so well with men because they're not very emotionally open, are they, bless them? So they were struggling a little bit with me, with what I was giving them to do. And I just thought, you know what am I supposed to work with women only? And I really got the yes. And I thought, okay, fine. And that's from there. I just suddenly started. I knew I was already a high priestess of Isis. I knew that from way back at the beginning. But Isis became much more prevalent. She came much more powerfully forwards then and started talking to me about my work and talking to me about what my mission really was. And I sort of got the mission, a little bit of what, in a nutshell, what I thought I should be doing. But suddenly she gave me loads of these you know, extra detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I was channeling Isis, then, you know, it just opened up the floodgates, and Sekhmet came walking in, and Mary Magdalene. I always had a profound connection to Mother Mary, so Mother Mary was talking to me all the time as well. I mean, I've done planetary work at Lourdes a couple of times now, you know, stuff like that, and oh, they just flooded in, and once I'd opened the gates, I couldn't stop it. It was, there you go, and the work then suddenly got very interesting as they started showing me the divine feminine blueprint and showing me how we're affected on a energetic level when we're birthed, when we incarnate, and what's happened to us based on the patriarchal society and stuff like that. And because I'm, you know, I do, part of my job is to reactivate the divine feminine blueprint, then of course, you know, I got ways of doing that, and that's how it's morphed on to She's Powerful Bootcamp, and the work that I do in my mentoring as well. And also, I'm really passionate about empowering women and inspiring women to be the best, to go up and do what they want to do in their hearts, but they're scared to do it. Yeah, and just giving them, you know, saying to them that, give yourself permission to do it, will you? You're fully capable. Because I've suffered from low self-esteem all my life, so, and I've struggled with that, and I really have a deep passion for reaching out to the women that have got that issue. We all have it in some aspects, don't we, of course, but really reaching out to those that actually have got amazing remits. They've got amazing, like, skills, gifts and abilities, and they are underplaying, because they're scared, or they're not doing it at all. You know, they're sort of tiptoeing around it because they're so sort of scared or apprehensive, or they just haven't got the self-esteem, and
can't be bothered to compete. Like, there's things in the patriarchal system. It pits women against it. Well, it pits people against each other, but particularly women. And you know, I know with me, I've always, and the empaths among us, especially, because my pattern was always, if there's a competition, I just get out of it. I just step back, let the other person shine. I can't be bothered to do that kind of fight for the glory. Like, it just doesn't resonate. And I think that's where a lot of women have struggled. It's like, well, I don't want to compete, and we should be working together and lifting each other and celebrating each other.
That's what it is. It's collaboration. It's working together as a unified field of consciousness. That's what the divine feminine needs to do. I don't know. I'm Sisterhood of the Rose. Yeah. I'm guessing you are.
Absolutely. I think that this is I keep being told that it is I work a lot with the diamond flame, and
I do.
We're part of a priestess lineage that goes back thousands and thousands of years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's Isis and Magdala, all of those. It's a goddess.
Absolutely. And I feel also it's a collective thing. So when I'm shown the collective from the Divine Mother, it's about, we each have to do our own bit. And if we, you know, for each woman that works on her own issues and her wounds and her confidence and empowerment, then you affect every other woman on the planet positively. Absolutely. So really, we should be encouraging each other and actually sort of giving each other what we need to shine, not tear each other down. And that's in every industry, of course, but also it's even in the spiritual world.
It's prevalent. Like,
I know. Really, and now that's ego. Unfortunately, that is ego that's not under control. But it's about, we need now some really nice, brilliant, good role models that actually bring forwards a different way of doing things. Yeah. And that we can all shine. And when we all shine, we get to the new paradigm much better, much easier and quicker than all infighting within each other. Yeah. We have to work together to deliver this new golden age, which is rapidly approaching.
Oh my God, it's like, it's here. I mean, so while we film this, I think it was only last week that Notre Dame Cathedral up in smoke, and at the same time, pretty much as the galactic core finally being photographed, the black hole.
Yeah.
So it's like the feminine is going, I've arrived. And that day I got this really powerful message. It was like all my guide team came around me, all my protection team, and I could see these almost like dark tentacles leaving the planet in the visual, right? I love my analogies that my brain gives me. And my guide said, I said, what's going on? What's with all the protection, man? Like, what's happening? And my guides kind of said, well, it's nothing to be alarmed about. What's happening planet-wide, this protection's coming around every human for the next however long, because planet-wide it's akin to a changing of the guard.
Yes.
There's a lot of darkness leaving and there's a lot of light arriving, and it's going to cause some ructions. And so we're just putting extra protection around everyone. But it was really powerful. And then obviously that night...
Yes, you're right. The changing of the guard is sovereignty. So sovereignty being taken by the divine feminine fully. And then almost, as arriving. Sovereignty has been handed over. And Notre Dame, for me, as soon as I saw it, I knew what that was about. It came in like... That's
I think we all got the same message.
Sovereignty, it's the land being taken back. And also when that spire dropped, they showed me it's almost like the phallic symbol.
Definitely.
And being taken down, because I see, I don't know whether you how I see it and how they show it me, the vision, is that we have all these sacred sites around the world, divine feminine power points, they call it to me, all around the world. And they are being squatted on by the patriarchal energy, and they have built churches over the top of them, haven't they, and cathedrals. And
well, that was a temple to Isis, that land, famously, and I mean the whole of Paris is named for her.
So what we're doing is taking sovereignty back of the land and the sacred sites, and that's a huge, important part of my work, actually, is I'm guided to go to certain points and take sovereignty back for the divine feminine.
I think me too. There's a lot of us, I think, being guided around the planet.
A lot of us are doing it, aren't we? We all are. Absolutely.
A lot of women, especially that I talk to, but light workers in general, but it seems to be there's a lot of people being guided to these sacred sites or these ancient portals to kind of reopen these portals of the divine and rebalance the energy. It's really incredible.
I love encouraging that, because some people feel like, I'm not good enough to do that. Or don't be daft. Just get the land.
The universe always provides me too. It happens when I don't have any money. Like I'm like,
that's true.
How am I going to get to Easter Island? And
the money just flies in, doesn't it?
It just comes in. It's amazing. But it's interesting, because I think one of the most important things we need to do is to forgive the patriarchy and to forgive the wounded masculine, and to heal that wounded masculine.
Absolutely.
Us as well. And one thing I want to make sure that we do cover while we're talking about this is that a matriarchal system and the divine feminine coming back into power isn't the opposite of the patriarchy. It isn't the feminine squashing masculine.
No, absolutely not.
It's both working together in their own roles. I mean, in each of us, we need our masculine side. We need our logical, our left brain, our rational. Otherwise, how are we going to find the reference points to know what's going on? We'd just go nuts. We'd just be useless blobs of love kind of wafting around. But
I get you.
It's so interesting that we're seeing the physical evidence of it. And one of the things that I find really interesting is that everyone I talk to, whether they're kind of conscious yet or not, everyone has questioned how in 5 minutes did they raise £1 billion to rebuild this building when there is an ocean full of islands of plastic that, even the people, the billionaires putting the money in, do they not want to leave the planet nice for their children and their children's children? This was a point that one of my friends made this morning. The other thing is, not long ago, have we forgotten all those Syrian refugees that were camped on France's doorstep? Like, where was the money to help them at the time? I just find
that it's not glamorous.
It's not, and it's not a big tax break probably, but it's interesting, like people are noticing this now, right? The patriarchy's old game of just throwing lies at people, glamorizing all of it, and let's make another church better than ever. It's a symbol of unity. No, it's not. it's bricks and mortar, right? What happened to love? I think this is it. The fact that people are noticing this is and again, I want to say we're not dissing Christians, right? I'm not dissing.
No, absolutely not.
Everyone can follow whatever path lights up their heart. But it's this power, control, and greed that is coming to an end. And I just find it liberating. I was kind of watching it going, wow, there's something major going on here. And I felt like almost, I'm not ashamed to say that I felt a sense of glee. It was like a symbol for this old paradigm clearing.
Absolutely. It's we're in phenomenal times.
We really are. So interesting, right? The evidence and the signs are right before our eyes.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Oh my God, Lynn. Well, is there any last words you'd like to say to the viewers before
well, just open up to the possibilities of what you can achieve, and all of us are only working at maybe, I don't know, 20-30%. What figure can you put on it that you're capable, because we're infinite. So we have so many different gifts and abilities, and I do believe that purpose always evolves. So we'll just get better and better at what we do, but it's just taking the courage to take the plunge and go and investigate what you can do to help this world. I wanted to mention to you quickly, as I say, that I've got my new convention coming.
Amazing.
So I've got this has been in the planning for quite a while, on a sort of blueprint level. I hadn't wrote it down and made it physical, but now it's time, I've been told, to make it physical this year. So I'm creating a female entrepreneur convention. I want to call it a convention because the convention means working together, mutually respecting each other's views and what we want to bring to the world. And I want to create a space for women to be able to come and be inspired and motivated by others, and also to be encouraged. And we share the love of the divine feminine together, but in a very modern way. So this is going to be a 21st century type women's gathering. So it's all about encouraging women to be entrepreneurs, and divine feminine entrepreneurs, and actually going and using our skills in lots of modern ways into different parts of society. And that's where we'll see change, is where we go into, maybe some of us are business women that don't work in the spiritual field, but we work in the business in London, but we're conscious and we want to use our gifts and abilities in the workplace. Well, we want to encourage that in this space as well as new women entrepreneurs. And I want to call them light entrepreneurs. So I want to create a new movement of female light entrepreneurs that actually are not ashamed to go and shine and stand in their light and their power, and to deliver their gifts and abilities and be abundant and successful at it, because we need to show others how to use that abundance. And how we can create foundations, charities, to things that maybe get neglected, that we need to deal with, like women that are abused or are in shelters, and maybe we can start sort of providing something for them, or providing for women in India that are in arranged marriages and end up on the streets or whatever because they run away. All of the little things that we don't realise add up to actually moving the consciousness of women on the planet, So that's what my vision. So we're starting off in London, okay, and we're going to do a London convention, a light entrepreneur convention, and it will be probably in September sometime, or late September, early October. And we're going to, I really love it if women spiritual workers and light workers would just support it. If you really feel like you want to be part of a new wave of sort of giving yourself permission to shine and go and do your work and get paid for it and be successful. Yeah. That's what we need. We need to flood this planet with these sort of beautiful businesses that we are creating that actually are paradigm shifters for humanity, because we've got the answers. The men have as well. The divine masculine have got the answers too. But why don't we go and show maybe a little bit of the masculine how to do this? Yeah.
It's
yeah. And, yeah. And I just I'm just so looking, and we're going to do some planetary work when we do these events. So we'll gather a load of light bearers together, and we'll go and work on certain things that we're guided to work on by the divine feminine and source. And one of them is the Earth Star chakra. So because it holds the seeds of the potential of the planet. Did you know that? And as our own Earth stars do. And it actually holds the blueprint for a new London and a new world. So actually, I feel really, I get goosebumps when I talk about it, yeah, because I'm getting like that download saying, you know, how much you can affect by doing this work together. And I you know, yeah, so I'm so that's
oh, my light just went out. I was so
excited. There you go.
Let's blind the lights. And just for our viewers, honey, can you tell people how they can get hold of you?
Oh, right, yes.
Your website and everything like that.
Yeah, so I have a Facebook business page called Lynn Morris, She's Powerful. I also have a website called www.lynnmmorris.com, because my middle name has to be in that, because we've got a Lynn Morris abroad who's a singer, so I can never get the lynnmorris.com. Yeah. So I've got Lynn
stars.
Yeah, lynnmmorris.com. And there, you know, there's details of my mentoring and my She's Powerful Bootcamp. And my She's Powerful Bootcamp is my main flagship course, which I'll be running, which is open all year actually, so people can sign in at any time. But I do 2 live rounds a year where I do group coaching within it. And once you sign up for She's Powerful Bootcamp, you're a lifetime member. So what that means is we do it, and I'm guaranteeing that I'll run that for 5 years at least. So you can come in twice a year with me, group coaching, and do the whole course again and get a different outcome.
That's amazing.
As you take more of your layers off. Yeah. Or you just want a little bit of a sort of, I need a little bit of sort of oomph and motivation, then come back in and feed into the energy and get that. Yeah. So that's what I've designed it for. And I have a free program on my website as well, which is how to get clearer on your soul purpose. And that's a 7-day free program for anybody who feels they want some help. It's got videos in, visualizations and worksheets. So I've got that to help as well. And I've got some more stuff cooking that will come along in a bit. But there is put it this way, there's a program coming linked to the convention, linked to the Light Entrepreneur, that's going to be massive. And I'm really going to put all of my zone of genius into that, to actually give someone what they need to go and deliver their amazing purpose. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Lynn, you are so inspiring. It's just wonderful to see you just off and running and doing this and really living your purpose so that others can.
Yeah, and I love it. It's like breathing. Yeah. I couldn't survive without it. It's like breathing. It's oxygen to me. It's evidently, yeah, my purpose to make sure that others deliver their purpose.
Yeah. It's awesome. And it is so that you know, I see it like the flower of life, you know, as one blossoms another and another and another, and that interconnectedness.
Yeah, I can't tell you how how I feel when I see someone blossom.
Yeah.
And just by me just offering what I do, and then they stand in their own power then, and they blossom, and oh my goodness, I just get such an amazing feeling from on seeing these women just go forwards and start doing it, and or they just go to another level, whatever way. But it's just amazing. It's elixir for the soul.
You're so beautiful. I love you. I love it. It's like,
and lastly, just quickly, I'll just say I've got a couple of places on my retreat in July in Glastonbury for Mary Magdalene. I'm doing a Mary Magdalene feast weekend, and we're doing some work on the heart chakra as well. So that one. So if anybody's interested,
and if you what I'll do is I'll put all the links to the retreat and everything below in the comments section, in the info section below this video. So if any viewers want to go and click through and find out how to book any of Lynn's amazing courses or sessions or retreats, you can go down there and find, and any other info I can put down there. Please do like and comment, and please share this video. We're creating free content to help raise the consciousness of this planet, and to support everyone who's on this journey, and to try and normalize the conversation about all of this, really, because we're all going through weird and wonderful things, and everyone's going through it eventually. So yeah. But on that note, Lynn, I am just so honored that you've come on my show. Thank you so much for talking to me today, honey.
You're so welcome. I loved it.
Awesome. We'll have to do more. Amazing. Oh, thank you, honey. I wish I was there so I could hug you. And just to all of our viewers, thank you so much for watching the Alexandra Wenman Show. Namaste.
Bye.